Hey guys, Gizmodic here, and this is the Oppo Realme 1. I never thought I was going to review an Oppo phone, but then this phone changed everything here. Unlike other Oppo phones which do nothing but click perfect selfies, the Realme 1 actually has an impressive spec sheet, and it's also priced really well. It's surprising to see that Oppo found time, apart from advertising on every possible billboard in the country, to go and develop this phone. So jokes apart, is the Realme 1 actually the best budget smartphone of this year? Well, I've been using this phone since the last 10 days as my primary device, so do watch this video till the end to know my opinions on it. The Realme 1 covers a very broad price range, so it starts at 9,000 rupees and then it goes all the way up to 15,000, so it ends up competing with the Redmi 5, the Redmi Note 5, the Redmi Note 5 Pro, as well as the Asus Zenfone Max Pro. But I have been using the 3GB RAM variant, and honestly for 9,000 rupees this is the phone to get. I mean, just look at the spec sheet of this phone. You have a Helio P60 CPU, 3GB of RAM, 32GB of storage, 3400 mAh of battery, 13 and 8 megapixel cameras, dual 4G SIM slots, as well as a microSD card slot. Apart from good internals, this phone looks good from the outside as well. You do have a plastic body and the buttons feel cheap and flimsy as compared to the Redmi devices, but the Realme 1 looks stunning. Especially in the solar red shade, it's an eye catcher. Almost everyone has asked me about this phone. It's very reflective and it catches your eye. So yeah, from the outside it looks really good. Although it's a fingerprint magnet, I do really like the looks of this phone, and Oppo gets a thumbs up for designing such a great phone. Although it might not be the best performing phone in spite of its great hardware. So the thing is, the Realme 1 is a good performer. It can handle a lot of games, albeit by getting a little hot, but the memory management is absolutely terrible on it. At least on this 3GB RAM variant, it's very aggressive and it can barely keep apps in the memory. Apps keep reloading again and again, and it's annoying to wait 8 to 10 seconds every time you open an app. Sometimes when I switch to the just preceding app, it still reloads it. Even though there is an option to disable freezing apps in the background for individual apps, it still doesn't keep them in the memory. Also, I would suggest you to go to app settings and keep the auto start on so that you don't miss out on your notifications in your social media apps. But then this is again limited to only 5 apps. So yeah, really poor memory management by Oppo. It won't be a deal breaker for a lot of people, but it's just a big annoyance that shouldn't exist in the first place. So yeah, Oppo really needs to update the ColorOS with respect to this. Talking about ColorOS, I am not a fan of this interface. It's not as smooth as compared to something like stock Android or MIUI, but it does offer you a lot of features that I've covered in a separate video. It's a feature-rich interface that I feel people would love, and Oppo has already said that they will be updating this phone to Android P as well. So yeah, I would give the Realme 1 a 6.5 or 7 on 10 on its performance, specifically due to the bad memory management. One other annoyance with this phone is the absence of a fingerprint sensor. I know face unlock is cool, everyone's doing it, but omitting the fingerprint sensor is a very stupid move. It's not wise to always copy Apple because it doesn't work 100% of the times, and when you are in dimly lit scenarios, it really struggles and you have to put your pattern or pin to unlock the phone. Plus the face unlock isn't that secure too. It can unlock when your eyes are closed, so yeah, Oppo has compromised on security for speed. It's super fast, it works almost 8 to 9 out of 10 times, but I still do miss the fingerprint sensor on this phone. So those were the two things that I completely hate on the Realme 1, but recently the Realme team did say that they are going to fix these issues, so let's wait and watch. I'll update you guys about this on my social media, so make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram. Now let's talk about the good stuff, starting with the camera. Oppo has done a superb job with the front and the back camera of this phone. They've used software and AI for portrait mode and it works decently well. It's not as good as other phones in this price range, but the overall performance in daylight, indoor light and low light is the best. I found this camera to be a bit better than the Redmi Note 5 Pro, so Oppo, you nailed it with this phone, but maybe you can improve the portrait mode a bit more. After all, you guys do guarantee that perfect selfie. For more information on the photo and video quality, do watch my camera comparison because that video will answer all of your questions. To view the selfies you take on this phone, you get an 18:9 Full HD Plus display that's really good in quality. It gets bright enough, has impressive colors and good viewing angles. The loudspeaker is also decent and the output via earphones is also loud. You also have some sound settings to play around with in the settings menu, but honestly I didn't use it. So a powerful processor, a huge display, a 3400 mAh of battery. How does all of that work out in day-to-day usage? Well, the battery on the Oppo Realme 1 lasted exactly a day for me. I used to take this phone off the charger at around 8 or 9 in the morning and I could easily use it till 12 am. So yeah, that AI chip and the aggressive memory management is helping in the battery life of this phone. Sadly, ColorOS doesn't show you the screen on time, so I can't give you specific numbers, but trust me, it's gonna last a day on medium to heavy usage. And the charging times aren't that bad either. There is no fast charging support, but then if you're not using the phone a lot while charging, it's gonna take around 1 hour 45 minutes to complete a full charge, which is good enough. Although it does get pretty warm while charging, so don't use it a lot when the phone is plugged in. One thing that I liked about this phone a lot is that it supports dual VoLTE. So if you have two Jio SIM cards, you can use them in this phone and you also get a separate SD card slot. I think this is the only phone under 9,000 rupees with dual 4G VoLTE support, although don't quote me on that. Call quality and network reception has been solid during my 10 days of testing, although sometimes I did find that the GPS performance wasn't that great. It was having problems in detecting the direction that I was traveling in, so it used to take a couple of seconds to figure that out. But apart from that, I really liked using this phone. The developmental support is almost zero on this phone, plus Oppo is notorious for not releasing sources, so don't expect rooting or Google camera on this phone anytime soon. Normally when a phone is not nice and you're reviewing it, you always feel a hurry to take your SIM card out and switch to a better phone. But nothing like that happened with me and the Realme 1, and that itself speaks a lot about this phone. Honestly, I feel that if you're on a strict budget of 9,000 rupees, this is totally the phone to buy. But then if your budget is around 15,000 rupees, your choice will depend on your priorities. If you want an all-rounder phone, you can go buy the Redmi Note 5 Pro. If you want raw performance, stock Android and a really huge battery, then go buy the Zenfone Max Pro. But you'll have to compromise on the camera a bit. But then if you're on a strict budget and you want a good camera along with good performance and you don't mind sacrificing a bit on the software part, as well as the missing fingerprint sensor, then the Realme 1 is the phone to get. So that concludes my views about this phone. If you guys liked it, then please press the thumbs up button and also let me know in the comments if you're going to buy the Realme 1 or not. I'll be making a lot more videos this month, so if you guys have any special requests, then please let me know in the comments. As always, please follow me on my social media pages. I'm going to link them down in the description, so do follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, then definitely hit the red subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on my new videos. Thanks for watching and I'll be back in your notifications really soon. Peace.